Good morning, folks. Welcome to Wishwell Farms. It's going to be another action-packed day here on the farm, and we're kicking things off with transplanting some more cantaloupe. Just getting it filled up with water currently, and we are going to be putting our cantaloupe in with the 2.5-foot wheel, so a 30-inch spacing between plants. Emma and Natalie will be riding on the back of the transplanter doing the actual planting. They are currently seeding our second planting of broccoli back at my place, and we are nearing the end of all of our seeding for the entire season. Next week we have one more seeding of zucchini and cucumbers, and we will be done. My goodness, turning out to be a beautiful day. The weathermen were forecasting rain most of the day. We got the trailer ready to go, all decked out with everything she needs to get through a day. I added grape tomatoes today and 10 extra boxes of tomatoes that we are running at a sale price of $18 per box. And we've lowered our scratch and dent tomatoes to $1.50 a pound. All right, we are loaded and ready to roll. We just finished up our cantaloupes. If you're wondering about the varieties, 2 rows of Aphrodite, 4 rows of Avatar, and we did put 1 tray of early dew honeydew in, and the spacing is 2.5 feet. And now it's starting to rain. I'm gonna take you through some of the greenhouses and show you what they look like. And I want to get my eyes on them too, so I can kind of see what's coming next week. I have a feeling there's not a lot of tomatoes turning colors in there. So I'm kind of actually hoping they're going to take a little bit of a downturn for maybe a week or 10 days, and then I'm sure they're going to ramp back up as we start getting hotter, more sunny days here later in June. Let's take a peek. Let me turn this fan off so you can hear it a little bit better. So this is planting number 2. And if you look down through here, yes, they are loaded with green tomatoes, and they're still kind of on the small side, but there's not a lot in the process of turning. So I think we're gonna have a much lighter pick. And when I say lighter, I'm talking about yield-wise. We're not gonna pick them any lighter. I think it's just gonna be a light pick, smaller pick. Now this row is a new planting and they're just starting. We've only picked them like twice. But they are huge jumbo tomatoes and there's a lot of them turning right now. So this row's in full production. All right, let's go check out the other greenhouses. Greenhouse number 1. Kind of the same thing in here. I don't know, man, there's still a lot of tomatoes turning. The yields have just been off the charts this year. The plants look very healthy and we're not getting any blank clusters, and I contribute that to pruning my fruit clusters down to 3 tomatoes. People often think that I'm cutting off yields, but I'm telling you, the tomato plants have never looked healthier and produced more tomatoes more consistently in the 20 years that I've been doing this, because I'm pruning them all to 3. It's hard to do sometimes because you feel like you're cutting off beautiful tomatoes, but it pays dividends in the long run. One thing that's not good for tomatoes is high humidity. Humidity, 100%. Gee, many Christmas. I even left my dehumid fan and shutter on all night. We'll go ahead and turn that roof vent on. It probably won't make much difference because it is so sticky, humid, and sultry out today. It'll make the produce grow, that's for sure. Obviously, the plants need sun as well. We've had a lot of sun in the previous week, but as long as it's humid and warm like it is today, they'll still really take off quickly and flourish. And it's only a matter of time before we get more sun because it is mid-June after all. Greenhouse number 3, we have planting number 3 over here, planting number 4 over here. We are not harvesting this row yet, but you can see how loaded down they are with big, beautiful green tomatoes. And we just started harvesting over here for the first time yesterday. You can see how big and beautiful they are. Most of them are still green, but there are quite a few starting to turn colors. So if you remember, it was 440 cases that I had in here. I sold another skid at the Amish auction, another 40 cases. So I've done 2 40 case deliveries there. The first batch I got $19 a box. The second shot of them I got only $17 a box. And many of you were asking how much does the auction take out? It's 11%. So you can do the math there. 40 boxes times $19 minus 11%. I am currently sitting on 345 because we had another pick of 100 boxes yesterday. So before that, I was down to 245. We were sitting pretty. I'm still not worried. The tomatoes are holding great. We pick them a little bit on the light side so they can sit in here for 10 days and ripen. So things are good. And we're adding another farmer's market next week. And I feel like the harvest out of the greenhouses is going to go down a little bit. The cloudy weather that we had yesterday and today and probably the next few days is going to really affect the harvest next week. So I'm pretty sure we're going to get caught up on this. This doesn't look so bad. Just 4 nice big skids, well, 3.5 skids of tomatoes. Looks like the zucchini is really taking off. Got baby zucchinis on the plant. Let's check out the yellow squash and the cucumbers. Yellow squash. Oh yeah, we got little baby cucumbers just starting. It looks like the cucumber beetles are already out gnawing on the flowers. Crops look really healthy and weed-free so far. I like what I see. Let's go take a closer look at the peppers and tomatoes. The bell peppers are looking really good. And the eggplant. Let's see if we got any fresh Colorado potato beetle or flea beetle damage out here. So you can see what the flea beetles do. See all those little pinholes? And the Colorado potato beetles actually eat the leaves. I don't see any fresh damage, so I think they're okay right now. Oh my. We got a jalapeno pepper forming already on these plants. Looky there. Little baby jalapeno pepper. The field tomatoes are looking good, really greening up and starting to take off. We're gonna have to run a second string here very soon, probably next week. And the sweet corn has grown about 1 foot this week. Some of it is almost chest high. It's all tasseling. The tassel's emerging. Let's just go take a quick look at it. Yeah, it's tasseling. So you can see how tall it is. It's above waist high now. And it'll grow another 1 foot each week until it's probably, about face high. This early variety, which is Bolt, only gets about 5 to 6 feet tall. Actually, probably closer to 5 feet. And if you look down here on the stalks, you can see where the ear is going to form. See those little shoots coming off the side? That is going to be the ear that we harvest. In about 10 days, I'm guessing we're going to see some silks coming out of there. And it'll be almost a full-size ear there. In a recent video, I discussed how I planted my seed population way too high by accident in here. But as I look around, I'm noticing a lot of skips. Sometimes that happens on your early planting. Maybe I didn't have the brushes set right on my meters. Sometimes it doesn't all come up. I mean, I do see a fair amount of it that is, you know, about 5 inches apart between stalks. But a lot of it has plenty of space because of the skips. And I had numerous comments about why didn't I walk down the row and thin out every third plant or every other plant or something like that. I don't think you realize how big of a job that would be. There's only an acre and a half here, maybe 2. Got another acre over there, another acre over there. I mean, we're talking almost 4 to 5 acres that I planted incorrectly. 150,000 seeds. It would take my entire crew days to walk up down all these rows, hoeing out the plants to thin them out. You know, I would have done it when the plants were only about 6 inches tall, but that would have been a huge job. And we were already stretched thin trying to keep up with everything else going on around the farm and in the greenhouses and at the farmers markets. So we just had to let it ride, and hopefully it'll all turn out okay. Here's a look at everything from the other end of the field. 2 rows of seeded watermelon that are just starting to vine out a little bit. 3 rows of zucchini. Man, they're really thick right there. We're probably gonna have to start picking next week. 1 row of yellow squash that didn't quite make it to the end. There's some pickles right there. 1 row of pickles and 3 rows of cucumbers. In another 10 days, this will be solid vines covering the entire patch. You can see how they're really starting to vine out. They'll grow right off the plastic out into here and fill up this aisleway. Seedless watermelons are really taking off. They've all vined off the plastic. They're out in the aisleway now. There are some thistles out here, but not too bad. This is the rest of sweet corn planting number 1. This is kickoff. Just starting to tassel a little bit out there. This is some of planting number 3 right here. Looking real nice. And I did get the proper population on this one. 22,000. The rest of all my plantings are 20,600. Here's another acre. This is planting number 2. It doesn't look much different than planting number 3, actually. And you see this row right here that looks like it got burnt by something. When I was side dressing 28% nitrogen, one of the lines sprung a leak and it was spraying out to the side all over the corn. It'll probably be all right. It just burns it for a while. But now that it's got rained on, it'll probably come out of it. But maybe not. At least it's only 1 row. This is green bean planting number 2. I actually showed this in a video a couple weeks ago when it was just emerging out of the ground. Definitely not the cleanest patch I've ever had, but not too bad. I think it'll be all right. More sweet corn. Planting number 5 and 6 maybe. Looking really nice. Time to get some nitrogen on it. My brother's garlic, just about ready for harvest here in a couple weeks. Cantaloupe planting number 1. They're almost ready to vine off the plastic. This is green bean planting number 1, and I think I see some flowers or buds. Oh yeah. Looking good. We'll hopefully be harvesting these green beans in maybe 2 weeks. They're kind of stunted. They didn't like the cold soil that I planted them in. And actually, the rest of this field was also planted in early green beans, but I had to disc them up because they came up so sporadic. Over there at the other end, they did come up decent. Those look pretty healthy over there, closer to the barn. These, not so much. And I'm gonna put another planting here, a test plot of 3 new varieties. Rupp Seeds sent me 3 new varieties to test out, and I'm gonna put those right here sometime next week. Another planting of sweet corn. It's up about 4 or 5 inches. You might not be able to see it very well. It doesn't always look the prettiest when you no-till, but once it grows up above all those weeds, it'll look beautiful. I think this is green bean planting number 3. Got some grass coming up in that one. This one hardly came up. Here's number 4, I think. These look really nice. And all the way over, number 5. And they aren't up yet. They were only planted 5 days ago. Oh, I see some of them starting to come up. Grape tomato pick was way down today, almost half. Cloudy weather is finally catching up with us. And they're getting a little bit smaller. Size always decreases once we get mid to late June. We'll probably only pick them for about another month, maybe only 3 weeks. By that time, we will be getting so busy in the fields harvesting zucchini, cucumbers, peppers, and eggplant that something's got to give. And the demand for grape tomatoes goes way down to probably 1/3 once we get to July, so it's just a good time to call it quits on grape tomatoes. However, we will still pick our greenhouse tomatoes until early August. Usually about August 10th is when our field tomatoes will really start coming on, and that's when we want to start wrapping up our greenhouse tomato harvest. So we still got a little ways to go on those. The older plants are giving us smaller tomatoes now, a lot of stuff, tennis ball size. And then the new plantings are still giving us a lot of jumbo tomatoes. Like these. These came from the new rows. Those are huge. And I noticed that we are getting low on tomato boxes again. We probably won't even have enough to finish packing what we harvested today. So tomorrow, which is Thursday, I'm gonna run another load of 50 cases up to the Amish auction to see how they do, as we are starting to get piled up again in our tomato cooler. Sales are still down a little bit. And I'll bring back another 50 new boxes so we have enough to pack all the tomatoes that we harvest on Friday. This is a new addition to the farm this year. 50-foot retractable fuel hose from Brero. Makes my life a lot easier. I can line up all of my box trucks in the barn 4 deep, all the way out to here. And I can fuel them all up without having to pull up close to the fuel tanks. Give it a little pull so you hear the click, and let her wind back up. Beautiful. So for the past 15 or so years, I've been pulling up each individual truck or tractor, whatever it might be, to my fuel tanks for fueling up. And each tank has a very short hose, so I would have to get fairly close. I've been wanting to get some kind of fuel reel to be able to pull out the hose and fuel my trucks when I have them all backed up here in the barn prepping for farmers markets. It was a big pain to have to back up each truck individually for fueling and then back them up again into the barn for packing for markets. So Brero reached out to me and wanted to know if I would test this product on my farm, and I agreed because I've been looking for something like this for years. This particular model here has 50 foot of 3/4 inch hose, this automatic shut-off nozzle, and it has a retractable mechanism in here that will retract the hose when you're finished using it. It can handle 300 PSI and has a flow rate of 60 liters per minute. Seems to be a pretty robust reel, and you know, it's portable, or you can mount it and make it stationary like I have. So in the box, they do provide some proper mounting hardware. I wouldn't advise mounting it the way I did, but I needed something simple and quick to get up and running fast, because this is a busy time of the year for me. So I just put this 4x4 post between the barn post and my barn, cut out this little plate, screwed the unit to the plate, and then mounted the plate to this 4x4, and I was in business. One of the features I really like about this reel are these plastic rollers that allows me to pull the hose out at any angle that's gonna work best for fueling up my box trucks. All right, let's give it a little pull and demonstrate how this works. So once you've pulled out your desired length of hose, you stop, and sometimes it will stop when you stop. Other times you got to give it one more final pull to make it click so it doesn't try to pull back on you. When you're finished using it, just give it a little click, and then I like to guide the hose in to make sure it all goes in properly. There it is. And this reel can be used in a wide range of temperatures, varying from negative 14 degrees Fahrenheit all the way up to 122 degrees. So I am not sponsored by Barrero in any way, shape, or form. They just reached out to me to see if I wanted to give this reel a try, and since it's something I've been wanting to purchase for many, many years on the farm and just never got around to it, I jumped at the chance to test this one out. They did offer a discount code for you folks if you are interested in a reel like this. I will drop that down in the description box below. It is WW15, and I will also put the link to Barrero down in the description box as well. Well, that's a wrap on today's video, folks. As always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all again next time down on the farm.